Assalamu alaikum. Hello everyone. This is Liquidity Club by Ahmed Chawi. Today is Sunday, the 14th of July 2024. I'll be doing the weekly market review, starting with the XY. Here we have the weekly time frame chart. As you can see, we started trading down lower, approaching this low. I do get my analysis wrong. I'm not pretty much what I call, and if you actually go back and review other weekly reviews the whole year, my whole analysis from the beginning of the year until now, it was correct. Today, we've seen retracement and running down lower, trying to approach these electrical lows here. Below these lows, we have the filling of the rest of this fair value gap. This candle is high, this candle is low. Now, we've created a fair value gap between this candle's low and this candle's high. Price can retrace, walk inside this fair value gap, and then jam down lower towards the sell side liquidity, or it can just jam down lower and walk inside the sell side liquidity and keep this fair value gap unfilled. So, going to the daily time frame chart, this is the weekly time frame chart fair value gap. We have a daily fair value gap here with a bearish order block. Price might retrace, walk inside the fair value gap and the bearish order block, and then continue running down lower towards this sell side liquidity. So that's how I'm looking at it. This is going to be pretty much it for DXY. Going to ES, here I'm viewing the continuous contract and I'm viewing the weekly time frame chart. As you can see, we have created a fair value gap as a result of last week's trading between this candle's high and this candle's low. Next week, I'm expecting a draw towards this fair value gap, and then from this fair value gap, we'll be monitoring it closely. If you want to show some respect here, show some support, or it wants to retrace all the way down lower towards this fair value gap, which is this candle's high and this candle's low. So we'll be monitoring closely, but my first on liquidity and my main one is this fair value gap. This candle's high and this candle's low. This is what I'm aiming at next week. Going to the daily time frame chart, you can notice that inside that weekly fair value gap, we have a daily fair value gap between this candle's high and this candle's low. So I'm expecting a run down lower towards this candle's low, which is the fair value gap high. And from there, we'll be monitoring price closely. If it wants to run down lower, treat this as resistance to run down lower, take out the sell side liquidity and work inside this weekly fair value gap, or if it wants to just just pretty much respect it as support and just run up here towards the buy side liquidity. So this is what we'll be looking at after price reaches down towards this fair value gap. So that's going to be pretty much it for ES. Going to NQ, here I'm viewing the continuous contract and I'm viewing the weekly time frame chart. As you can see, we also have a small fair value gap here on NQ between this candle's high and this candle's low. I'm expecting price to run down lower towards it, and I'm honestly expecting price might run down lower, take out this low. In any case, price might just run down lower towards this fair value gap and just continue running up higher. We'll be monitoring the content of this premium wick if you want to see some resistance, or if it wants to run up higher, close up of it and treat it as support to continue running up higher. Going to the daily time frame chart, you can see that we're trading inside the internal range liquidity. We also have here fair value gap and here fair value gap. Price might dig deep into these bullish order block, so we might see a further retracement down lower towards the fair value gap here before running up higher towards the buy side liquidity, since we are still in a buy program. So that's going to be pretty much it for NQ. Going to Dow, here I'm viewing the weekly time frame chart and I'm viewing the continuous contract. You can see that on Dow we're starting to find higher prices, and for for it to catch up with what NQ and ES are doing by running up higher. We have the close attachment of this premium wick, which is relatively the high of this candle, which is going also to be the low of this fair value gap. We have the fair value gap, which is going to be forming next week. We might form a fair value gap here, or we might just create an immediate rebalance where price will retrace all the way down lower towards the constant attachment, which is the high of this candle it might form, and also it's the high of this inversion fair value gap. We might get, there's a lot of like levels influencing this area here, so we might see a retracement down there, and we can see sharp movement to the upside, reversing to the upside towards the buy side liquidity, catching up with what NQ and ES are doing. Going to the daily time frame chart, you can see that we have fair value gap here between this candle's low and this candle's high. Now, if it wants to retrace down lower, other traders will not know exactly how much lower can it trades to. But since we are nesting BD arrays from the weekly time frame chart all the way down lower, we know that we have a weekly inverted fair value gap, and we have the constant premium wick, and we also have the high of this candle, which is relatively close to that level. So when we go to the lower time frame, we have this fair value gap. Price wants to reach below this level. We know that we have a weekly BD arrays that we are looking for. Price might work inside them before running up higher. So the mohawk is like trading below a fair value gap or above fair value gap in a very small amount, trying to reach for a BD array that is just residing above or below the fair value gap. So we might see a mohawk here before running up here towards the buy side liquidity. So that's going to be pretty much it for now. Going to EURUSD, also known as the fiber here. Here I'm viewing the weekly time frame chart. As you can see, we're starting to run up higher in concert with DXY trying to reach down lower for lower prices. We have this weekly fair value gap, and we have this buy side liquidity here. This high price might retrace down lower towards this fair value gap and run up higher towards this buy side liquidity rejection block and this buy side liquidity, or it might just run up higher without retracing towards this fair value gap. Going to the daily time frame chart, as you can see here, we have a daily fair value gap. This candle is high, this candle is low, and with that fair value gap, we have a bullish order block. Price might retrace, work inside this area here, and then run up higher towards the buy side liquidity. So that's going to be pretty much it for EURUSD, or also known as the fiber. Going to pound USD, also known as the cable. Here I'm viewing the weekly time frame chart. As you can see, the same thing is mentioned here on pound USD. We have taken out this buy side liquidity. As you can see, we have a fair value gap between this candle's low, which is that what last week's trading, and this candle's high. Price might retrace back towards this fair value gap. That's what I'm aiming at, towards this fair value gap here. This candle's low and this candle's high. The fair value gap run back down lower towards it, and then potentially continue running up higher since we're in a buy program. Going to the daily time frame chart now. uh, this is a daily time frame. If you go and look to your daily time frame chart, you will see these levels. This is a buy side liquidity and the fair value gap, which is drawn liquidity. You will find them over here if you go on your daily time frame chart. I try to keep the charts clean by just showing you the levels here, but regarding this buy side liquidity, which is the 1.29959 level, you can check it out on the daily time frame chart. If you go back towards this area right there, you will find it. I just kept it for you as an assignment. We have this fair value gap, which is this candle high, this candle low. Price might, since it's close to it, might just run towards these levels, work on them, work inside these levels, and then just retrace, work its way down lower towards this fair value gap, and potentially close for the week. So that's going to be pretty much it for this weekly review. I really hope you found this one insightful. If you have any questions, or if you want to discuss any information, if you have questions about anything, please don't hesitate to message me. I have my Twitter handle attached down below in the description below, and there's this Discord server where we share trades, we tape read, we pretty much trade live. You're more than welcome to join us, and pretty much if you have any questions, you can also feel free to ask them there in the Discord server. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until I talk to you next time, be safe. Wassalamu alaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh.